guys, it's been a very long time since I've actually dropped any video here on YouTube. So with this video, I'll actually be going back live on YouTube to drop weekly outlooks, recaps, and possibly some content that would actually help guide with psychology and other things alongside everything that I'll be sharing on my channel on Telegram. So if you are new to the channel, I drop content every week in terms of the weekly outlook on what I expect on goal, and also backtesting my strategy, and also sharing other relevant information here. So for some few months now, I haven't dropped anything and I've been off YouTube for a while. I had to take a break because at most of the content that I was dropping, I had a very tight schedule because of school. I was rounding up in school and all of that too, so I needed to give more time to that part of my life. So basically, I was doing, but then I was actually still very much active on my Telegram channel. Many people that follow me there would actually know this. I've always been active there, and I've always been sharing trades there, and also my private channel too. So if you need information about that, you can actually use the link in the description to get that. So in today's video, I'll actually be opening up with what currently I'm expecting from price towards today, Thursday, down to Friday, and possibly something that would actually run up towards next week. So with last week also, I was actually expecting that price would actually first of all either tap into this key level here at 42.75 from the daily time frame. We'll be starting from the daily time frame and running it down low. So I was expecting that price would either tap in to this level around 42.76 first, before we can then see a progression that would actually clear out 4,500 and scale beyond. But then price failed to do that even with this week. Even as of, would I say yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. I think I called two sell trades or so, but both trades got stopped. I called them on my private channel, but both trades got stopped, and the reason was because of what was going on here. If probably you've been following me for a while now, a particular entry model that I actually use, or a confirmation to see what's actually happening, is something like this. Most times when you see price close with this particular bearish candle, and then the next candle that forms fails to close above the high of this particular candle, what happens is that you wait for price to give a full body close below this particular low. Most likely price would fall back into this same region that holds this candle and use it as a way to push down lower. So my expectation was that after we had this close, as of, I think this was last week or so, I expected that price would be able to fall down low to pick orders from here, or probably push down a little bit lower before we get anything pushing up to the upside. But then you could see that it failed with yesterday's close. That is, what happened was that instead of price to hold on to this, because we can already see the sell-off from this region down, instead of price to hold on to this, price closed aggressively above this particular level. So from the daily time frame, this actually tells me that most likely what I should actually be looking out for should be something of this nature. Price may most likely come back into this level and then keep on pushing up higher. This is actually what this tells me from the daily time frame. And if we even look closely here, you would actually tend to notice that we had this key bearish resistance level sitting at this particular level here. When this whole thing happened sometime in, I think, maybe let's say early June or so, I was actually expecting that price would actually be able to tap into this guy to pick up more sell orders to push down lower, but price failed to do that. It left the level, and if we zoom out a little bit, you could see that we had this low here, we had this key low here, because we had this break of structure at this high, and this was a particular key low here. We tend to notice that this guy here was what sponsored the break of this particular low, and we can actually confirm this when we take our flip tool, probably let's say from the high right here to where it broke it out. So the expectation is that the most safest way that you could actually take this particular trade is to wait for price to enter into the premium levels at this point, and then pick up sell trades to push down lower. But price failed to do that, meaning that this whole level here is automatically just a liquidity play, this guy here. So for price to then come into this point now and to pick trades and then fail and give a full body close above this level, it means that most likely now it supports the claim that we could get to see something like this to push up to the upside. And if this actually fails, that is when probably we would then get something that may push down lower to tap into this level, and this whole change would actually push down price down lower, except if probably it's able to reclaim this whole region and then do something like this to push up higher. So it's actually something that is a step-by-step process and follows a particular let's say chain of a particular workflow. Let's use the word workflow. So from the daily time frame, this is actually something that I'm actually expecting, but then I don't like the fact that I think we had FOMC yesterday, so news could have been part of the things that actually fueled this move, but I think this move happened before the news. So it's actually something that I'm seeing from this side, from the 1 day time frame. So let's go down to the 4 hours time frame. When we come back down to the 4 hours time frame, I'd actually like to confirm something. Actually, price actually broke out of this level before the news points. When we come back down to this time frame, I think from what I can see from this time frame, it actually still supports what we saw from the daily time frame. And you could see that despite the fact that we had this FVG sitting here and keeping that key level from the daily time frame, there was a very strong support level from this point, and I would actually love to know what was actually fueling that particular support level. And if we come a little bit closer, we can actually see it from this level here. You could then notice what happened here when price sold off from this point and failed to push in to pick our orders from this our KPY from the daily time frame that was sitting at this level. We will tend to notice something. We had this FVG here, this bearish FVG. Price respected this bearish FVG to push to sell down lower. And if I should take this off, let me take this off here. I could just automatically, or I think, let me even clear if this included. I would automatically take or consider this point here to be one of the key levels that was putting price down, that pushed price down. You could see it here. So what happened was that the fact that price, and you could see there was even extra confirmation here, because with the whole tap and hold of this FVG starting from these points here, the moment that price was able to give us this confirmation with this full body close that reclaimed this whole region and the work that this particular level was doing, we got confirmation right here and price was able to sell off. So the fact that price was able to come back into this level and failed to respect this key level here, because now if you were trading this was one of the key levels from the 4 hours time frame that you would actually be looking forward to. So this level here, the fact that price came back and failed to respect this level now, because we saw some reaction from this point here, but the fact that it failed to hold and we saw this breakout of this level here, this region here tends to become a very strong support, especially with the fact of this other block that is sitting at this level here. Can you see that? Can you see that? So this level tends to become a very strong support level, and this is actually most likely why we saw the failure with price pushing down lower. I didn't actually take note of this, and this is actually what kept on holding price, because you could see the first tap, it still came back, failed to close down lower to pick orders from this level, and still did this before we saw this breakout to the upside. So this is actually one of the things that foiled what we actually are seeing from this particular stand view. So if I actually zoom in closer from this view here, I'm actually expecting that we should actually be able to, I think this particular candle, okay, but I'm actually expecting to see that we could get something that would fall into this particular FVG here and to hold this region here, somewhere around here though, let's just somewhere around here, and to give us something like this to push up to the upside. So something of this nature to actually correlate with what we saw from the daily time frame. Let me save that up so I could actually share it up on the channel. And The reason why I'm even having this view is because of the fact that let's take off. I like to take off these lines. Let's mark out this particular FVG that was sitting at this point here. Then let's just give it back the borders. Tend to notice what happened here. We saw a tap into this FVG and a push that took up this high. Then next on price failed and we saw price coming down lower, falling back into this level. That is to actually use this guy as an inversion, but failed to do that. We got taps back into that point and we saw a push up higher. Then price picked up orders from here to push up higher, but then we saw a full body close again, failure, tap into this level, full body close. Then we saw this break out of this whole region here, meaning that most likely price would actually then properly use this point, this whole level now, as the level for that particular inversion. Most likely I've seen this play out a lot. I would actually cover it in the next video that I will drop, but I've seen this play out a lot. And then we still have this FVG that is still at this point, so you could even expect something as crazy as price coming down as low as this to push up higher. So this is actually what I'm actually seeing from the 4 hours time frame. Let's go down to our 1 hour time frame. I actually love the 1 hour time frame a whole lot. So when we come back down to the 1 hour time frame now, we will actually see the correlation to the story that I'm actually giving on from the 4 hours time frame. You could see that here now we don't have the FVG here, but you could see the whole thing that was going on, and we could even refine it a little bit. Let's just leave this way, but if I want to refine this a little bit lower, you could actually see that price gave a full body break above this level. That's this whole level that was holding up to a resistance point at this level here. We saw a full close, price came back into that level to use it as support. We saw the push, then we saw a failure that price closed below that level again, and we saw how it used it to sell off. Then we got back to that same point, price tried to reclaim that level to push up higher, and we saw this again. But if we look, if we can zoom in a little bit to this point here, you could actually see that this move that happened, this aggressive bullish move, happened at around let's say towards New York Open, and it gave room for this very huge move that pushed to the upside. Now, one of the key points that I would actually take note of from this level is it's actually, let me take off the borderline here. It's actually first, this guy that is sitting here is actually very extreme. Price ignored it, but this guy is one of the key guys that I would actually take note of. This is the first level I'll take note of. Then the second level would actually be this guy. I expected that if at all price is moving with this particular velocity to reclaim all of these levels and give us the whole bullish heads up, it should have been able to probably tap one of these guys before it pushes up higher, but then it failed to do that. But then you could then see that now from the 4 hours time frame we had this FVG, and now this level and this level are still sitting within that range, and the whole FVG that we have within this range, it actually gives me a more clear signal here too again that I would actually say it's actually safe to say something like this that falls back into this FVG level, then you can then chase for moves that push towards 4600. So this is actually very similar to what I'm actually expecting from the 4 hours time frame, and a safer play. I actually like what's happening here at this extreme level here. And remember, from the 4 hours time frame also, I said it could do something crazy like that. This is actually something that validates that particular saying, and it could look like this, but it's very extreme. It could look like this, a very nice trade like this that would actually push up higher. It's very extreme, but the risk reward is really wild actually. About 25R. It's that crazy. It could be that crazy, or price could actually just peak from somewhere as high as this, somewhere right here, push up higher. So this is actually one of the things that I'm expecting on the 1 hour time frame. Is actually a two-way story, but I actually expect that it kicks into this particular region. So probably it might get as low as this or not, but we would actually possibly see some form of sell-off from this level that might push as low as this. We can't be sure of that. And with the fact that we just had the market just open, probably do something like take liquidity from this level, push down here. We have an FVG sitting at this level. If it is not able to push up higher and we get a full body close, then we might then see something like this to push down lower. So something of this nature though. But if I catch an opportunity from this point, I'll actually short towards falling back to this region. It's actually be a good run. So this is actually one thing I'm expecting from the 1 hour time frame. So let's go down a bit lower to the 30 minutes time frame. On the 30 minutes time frame, I don't think we are seeing anything different to what we've seen already. This aggressive move up. Let's go back to the 1 hour. There's something that I actually missed on the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, where should it be? This is it. This should be the new slow from FOMC. So this guy is also a sweet honeypot for liquidity, but it actually correlated to this particular FVG to push up higher. So we can actually expect something that would actually take this guy out too. Let's go down a bit lower to 30 minutes. We'll come back to 30 minutes. It's actually still the same story, basically. Still the same story. We saw this whole level whereby we have the whole flip resistance level. So there's even a possibility of a play that could actually not push up. I think confirmation is actually very important at this point. We already see the key level and we have this FVG that is sitting at this point from the 4 hours time frame. So it's very possible that, you remember, we have like a resistance level that was sitting at this level, so it was flipped to be a support. So we could just get something that might just fall within this range down to this guy here and continue pushing up higher. So confirmation is very important. It's very very important. So we can expect something like this from this region. It could be as high as this, but somewhere around here. But with confirmation, I think this whole region here, this whole part here should be a very good sweet spot to actually push up higher. So I would actually be dropping more info on the channel on Telegram as everything unfolds. So if you're not part of that, you should actually use the link in the description to join up, so you could actually see as how I will actually be going about this, because I'll be dropping live updates and also calling trades, even though most of them go to my private channel, but I'll actually still be dropping live trades too on the community channel for free. So you should actually take advantage of that if you can, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So bye.